Now, this is for everybody who wants to begin to hear the prophetic voice of God. I will quickly teach you how you can do this. There are two pathways through which God speaks to a man. Number one is the voice of your thoughts, and number two is the eyes of your imagination. And this is why any man who wants to hear the voice of God, who wants to be directed by the voice of God, must be a man who is dead to his flesh, because these two pathways through which God speaks to a man are the two major pathways through which your flesh also sends signals to you. So this is where many people find it confusing to hear the voice of God. Now, number one, you must note that the voice of God does not come in a dramatic way. When God speaks to a man, he does not speak to a man through drama. The voice of God does not come through thunder, lightning. It was in the Old Testament that it was like this. In the New Testament, God speaks to us through a still small voice. He speaks to us in a way through which that for you to hear his voice, you must be a man who is concentrated. You must concentrate and focus your ear, focus your heart at hearing the voice of God. This is the number one thing you must have in your heart. And number two thing you must have in your heart is, for you to effectively hear the voice of God, you must be a man who is purged. You must be purged from the functions of your flesh, because the flesh is the one that limits us from the realm of the spirit. So you must come to a point where your spirit man is lifted up, where your spirit man is made in charge of your whole being, where your spirit man dominates your whole being. Are you get what I'm saying now? So any man who is still walking in the flesh cannot hear the voice of God. Even if you concentrate, even if you focus, what you will be seeing and what you will be hearing are what your flesh produces, are the things that you have gone over. Are you get what I'm saying? So if you want to hear the voice of God, you must be focused on prayer and focused on the study of the word of God. By this, you are sharpening the eyes of your imagination and the voice of your thought. And these are the two pathways through which God speaks to a man. Now we can see in the story of Samuel, when Samuel was still a young prophet, he was still about to learn about the prophetic ministry. Something happened to Samuel. One night he was about to sleep, and all of a sudden he had a voice that called his name, Samuel, Samuel. Immediately he ran to his master. Samuel was a man who had been taught the ways of the priest. He had lived in the temple all his life, so he was a spiritual person. Yes, he was a spiritual person, and because of this, his signals were always active. He could receive, but he was not able to differentiate the voice of God, the inner thought, the inner voice of God, from the audible voice of his master. Are you get what I'm saying? So because of that, he was not able to hear what God was saying to him, even though he was listening. Most of us, we listen but we cannot hear, and some of us, we hear but we cannot listen. When God speaks to you, you don't obey, and it causes a breach in God speaking to you. So you must be a man who hears and listens. It was Eli that taught Samuel how to hear and how to listen. What did Eli tell him? Eli told him, when you hear this voice, reply and say, Master, speak, for thy servant heareth. So that is the posture you must come with every time you are praying. You must come with a posture where you are not in a rush, when you are not always trying to run away from the presence of God. No, you must abide in the presence of God, and the posture will be in a form that you are telling God, Lord, I am forever here, speak, for I am hearing. So most of us listen, we don't hear, and some of us hear but we don't listen. You must learn how to do this both, and sharpen the eyes of your imagination by always meditating on the word of God. What did I say? Sharpen the eyes of your imagination by always meditating on the word of God. Any man who will see visions must be a man who meditates on the word of God. When you meditate on the word of God, the pictures that your heart creates will now be heavenly pictures. It will now be spiritual. God can now flow through your heart. Are you get what I'm saying now? So you must sharpen the eyes of your imagination and sharpen the ears of your thoughts by what you listen to. What are you listening to? That is why it is very advisable to anyone who is a Christian that wants to hear the voice of God. You must cut off yourself from the noise of this world. You must be a man of the secret place, where you just stay quiet. You don't listen to any man, you don't listen to any voice, you just stay quiet, meditating on the word of God. It makes the voice of God to easily penetrate through your heart, because it is through your heart. God does not, it is only a rare circumstances that you see God talking through an audible voice. It is when he wants to encounter a man. But when God wants to speak to you, he speaks to you prophetically through your inner mind, and your inner mind must be purged, your inner mind must be pure, your inner mind must be made to be always listening to the voice of God, so that at any time you can be the 911 of heaven, so that anytime God calls you, you will answer. Are you hearing what I'm saying? You must be a man given to the secret place. You must be a man given to prayer. You must be a man given to fasting. Fasting shapes you in the spirit. Fasting makes you weak in the flesh. Prayer makes you strong in the spirit. So you must sharpen this your spiritual senses to be able to receive signals from heaven. Hope this message stood out for you today. Please, what you can do for us is to subscribe to our YouTube channel, share these videos to your family and to your friends, those who want to walk with God in genuinity of spirit. Are you get what I'm saying? Please share this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us across all social media platforms. Thank you and God bless you.